well, I would call myself Yoste if I was performing, but I think in a personal engagement I call myself Kurt. I am a musician. I have been for a few years, but I've only really started taking up production quite recently after my much more talented friend went overseas, and I had no option but to stop farming out my work to him and do it myself. Recently, just partnering up with, I'm going to sound like a tosser when I say it properly, but Belle Musique, this European record label that helps me put the tracks out just so that they get a nice reception with a lot of different people and diverse people from all over the world. It's actually nice that you know people are going to hear things that you make. It's an extra little layer of inspiration that you know that you're not just making it for yourself. That's the definite highlight, and I think the potential to carry on expanding onwards and upwards with them is really exciting as well. But I've always liked being able to craft things completely the way you want them to. That's the good thing about production, is really with a laptop you can make almost whatever you want. And that's intimidating in some ways, but really liberating, and that in itself is one of the best things. Constantly. I study law, which is, you know, boring. And so I just don't really study it, is the answer. People ask me how I balance law and music, and I just say I just do music. Other than that, writer's block. I think to not write and to go out and explore a little bit, and not even listen to music, just be quiet, and that stimulates the creative process a little bit more. I would say the influences that align most closely with the kind of music I'm making now would be people like Yoste of Sigaros, Bon Iver, the more ambient spectrum, a little bit of Active Child, just any kind of James Blake, even not necessarily in terms of sound, but just in terms of attitude, the kind of deconstruction of electronic sound and taking things that wouldn't normally constitute music, putting them into a track. A lot of layers, a lot of ambient sounds, just is so inspiring. And it's easy to get bogged down as well in just the amount of music that there is these days. I think as long as there's good music out there, and there's still a lot of good music being produced, then there'll always be an audience for it, and so it's good. It's always easy to find inspiration. I don't think anyone wants to make music for people to feel ambivalent about. And people will just message me now out of the blue on various mediums, and they say, hey, I really like this for such and such a reason. Or people give, people open up crazy amounts to strangers as well. I don't know why, but maybe it's partly to do with music. They just, they say, I get a lovely message, several every day saying, I really love this for such and such a reason, or this helped me do this, and that's wonderful. I think maybe an early morning walk in somewhere beautiful like a national park. When I'm making my music as well, I just look at pictures of British Columbia and North America, places like that, and I just think I'm definitely going. You want to feel a little bit of the crunching of the percussion, hearing the ambient sounds, and just add that to the experience of walking through somewhere beautiful. I think the world needs more nuance, first of all. I think everything is so black and white these days. Nuance is more and more bleeding away. There are so many people who are just so dedicated to nature and exploring. It really does just open you up in a whole new way. You're like, oh wow, I've been missing something totally.